think working with ESOL kids has really been beneficial because these students come in they don't have the language acquisition to make it in the regular classroom all the time in the regular content, but it really makes you find new ways to reach kids, new things to do. And I think all of those things, working with language kids or working with special needs kids, the techniques are the same. They overlap tremendously, and if you can do one, you can do the other. I truly do believe that to be in any classroom, general ed, special ed, teamed, ESOL, inclusion, in the inclusive classroom, in any of them, you really have to believe that all the kids can succeed, that all children are going to be successful, no exceptions. They may not all succeed to the same level, but they can all succeed. And they have to know that you care about them. Kids have to think that you're going to be fair and that you care about them. You may not like their behaviors, and you may say, I don't like that behavior, but they will never respond to you if they think you just don't like them. You really, they have to believe that you want them to succeed and that you like them as people, and that you have to differentiate between the person and the behavior a lot of times. One thing that can be frustrating, and I think it's easy for educators to do now, is to say, but they don't have support at home. They don't do their homework, and talk about all the things that kids don't do now that they used to do. And in the big picture, those are excuses. It's our job as educators to work around that. Those things may all be true, but we don't have the luxury of saying, oh, okay, well, then I'll just fail them. If a lot of these kids go home to homes where they're the caregiver until mom and or dad come home, if it's even a two-parent family. But kids they're living in a different world today than the one that we grew up in, and I think we need to take those things into account. And when you assess kids, I do think this is important. You need to go back and look at that assessment and look at what the kids scored, and if a number of kids missed something on an assessment, ask them, how did you interpret that question? And I'll tell you, I have had kids tell me, this is what I thought you meant, and you know what? It could be interpreted that way, and I had to go back and count it right, because their interpretation was just as valid as the one, of course, that I thought was absolutely perfectly clear, and that meant that it could be answered two different ways. But I think you have to be willing to do that. We make mistakes. You have to be willing to go back and say, I made a mistake, and then fix it.